This is the best new manga read before 2026. It's from Shonen Ouji. He has 47.7 thousand subscribers. If you like what you see in this video, I'll put it in the descriptions and all great stuff. So if you guys enjoy this and all that awesome stuff. So we're going to play this and see what it's about. It's only 10 minutes and let's see.
I read all of the best new manga, and now I have a list of each series everyone needs to start before 2026. By the end of this video, you'll be able to pick from 15 of the best new manga from different publishers and different genres, and even binge all 15 before the end of the year. But this list comes with one rule to ensure that every manga here is actually new, and not the same series you're probably already reading. None of the manga on this list started before 2024 or have more than 60 chapters. And the best place to start is with the new manga I am surprisingly excited about, Kai-Hen Wizards. This fantasy series follows the story of a boy who wakes up in a tower owned by one of the 7 colors. In this world, mana is split up into 7 kinds of magic, each represented by a different color, and our main character is now in the care of Zemu, the green wizard. The young boy loses his memories, and can only remember that he's a prince from a mysterious flying kingdom. Now, with the help of the green wizard, the boy must learn the
I
art of
remember
magic.
Sufferance talked about this one. Yes, I remember Sufferance brought this up. I remember this manga.
And regain his memories in order to learn more about his cataclysmic powers. The reason this manga is a must-read is because it's really not like anything else. It has a beautifully simple art style, and while it is a fantasy, this story stands out in the way it treats magic as something arcane that truly needs to be studied. Speaking of the story, probably the biggest reason this manga is so good is because of the characters. So far, the main character is a great example of the amnesia trope done right, and you meet a lot of characters early on, but each character feels different, and the writer knows exactly how to take their time fleshing each of them out in their own special way. Kai-Hen Wizards is only 27 chapters right now due to a couple of long breaks, but this is a great fantasy story that you can catch up to right now before the start of the year. And if you're looking to start another fantasy series before 2026, then you should definitely read The Journey of a Dark Elf with Fading Powers. Basically,
The Journey of the Dark Elf, Fading Powers. Is that what I'm saying it right? I'm gonna be very under the impression that this is going to be promising to a degree just because of the designs alone. And she's a dark elf. You don't really see a lot of those being represented in a lot of manga. Yes, a dark elf. See, it even got Bri. Bri got it. Bri got it. Dark elves are really attractive, I'm not gonna lie. See what this is about.
think Frieren, but in reverse. The story follows a dark elf who is the strongest living mage. That is, until her friend finds her roughing it in the wilderness and discovers that the dark elf has completely lost all of her mana and magic abilities. This manga only has 1 chapter out as I'm recording, but it's a really interesting first chapter with a fun premise. Plus, I was really drawn to this manga when I came across its cute art style over on X. So if you're looking for a fun fantasy manga that you can catch up to before the new chapters come out later this month, then you need to check out Dark Elf with Fading Powers. But if you don't want just another fantasy and still want something brand new, then you should check out Witch Riv. The story follows Nona in a world.
Witch Riv? Witch Riv? WITCHRIV? Riv? IV? Riv?
World where witches are born with magic, but have to hide their abilities or be arrested and executed. She's discovered when the police torture the only friend she ever told about her powers, and is forced to leave her home behind after her mother saves her. Now Nona has to find as many witches as she can in order to save her mother before she's executed by the police. Witch Riv is not your typical fantasy story, and plays out more like a mystery thriller. Witches in this world are not in positions of power, and they have to hide and fight just to survive. There's only about 7 chapters out right now, but the story is intense, and there's already some interesting characters. So if you're looking to start a fantasy with more of a darker mystery edge, then definitely check out Witch Riv. But if you're looking for a much darker fantasy, then the first manga you should read on this list is Centauria. This manga follows the story of Julian, a slave who gets the powers of 100 people after his ship is destroyed in the ocean,
I remember that
and
one.
he's saved by a sea.
Oh, I remember this one. I do remember Sufferance bringing this one up. I think this is the one with the trumpet. Yeah, I think this is the manga with the dude who has the power to use the trumpet or something, if I remember right.
God. With his new powers, he fights to protect his found family in a ruthless world of monsters and a ruling power that is dedicated to wiping him out. I have a longer review I made before, but I just caught up to the newest chapters, and somehow this manga got even better. It sells you on a beautiful blend of tragic characters and nightmarish, horrifying monsters. At the same time, Centauria is one of the most wholesome manga you can read. In between all of the terrifying monsters and gore, Centauria's main cast offers the kind of wholesome vibes that help it stand out as a relatively lighthearted story compared to other dark fantasies. But you also have the newest chapters, where you can expect all kinds of cool powers used by new villains that you just want to see even more of. The series has been out for a minute, but it's still pretty underrated despite being the best new dark fantasy. So if you love Berserk and stories like that, then now is the perfect time to read Centauria before it starts its next arc. Now, if you're looking for a more lighthearted fantasy that also has plenty of action, there's still one more series that I'm saving for the end of the video. But if you're tired of the thousands of fantasy manga, then I recommend checking out some of the new sci-fi manga that are out right now. In the the first one you should read is Hero Organization. This story is perfect if you love mecha anime and you're looking for something new. In this series, humanity uses mechs to fight mysterious star beasts. It starts with an amazing first chapter that I don't want to spoil because it ends on an incredible surprise ending. But all you need to know is that the present story follows a new recruit named Leonidas, who rises up in the government's academy as he trains to become a great pilot and expose the corrupt figures that are secretly manipulating the New World Order. Admittedly, the series does have a slow start after the first few chapters, but it quickly picks up as we meet more characters and see them react to the growing threat of the government's corruption. So if you're interested in a mecha series with an exciting mystery driving the story, then you should read Hero Organization. But if you want something much darker,
oh yes, Suffers brought this up too. I hear this is a very good story. It is action-packed, it is fun. It actually said this is a good story.
Highly recommend Mad. I am not exaggerating when I say Mad is the single most slept-on manga that's currently running. The story follows John after an alien
I think Sufferance and the Masked Man brought this up. Mad.
Invasion wipes out almost all of humanity, and after an alien attack destroys his family, he finds himself in the protection of a mysterious military organization. But John soon realizes that there's more to the alien threat than he thought as he slowly becomes humanity's last hope against a growing cosmic terror. Not only is this the most intense story out of anything running in manga, but it's just an all-around great story. The art style reminds you of Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen. The characters are all great, including John, who gives you the kind of main character who fights to protect the good in the world as he slowly rebuilds his sanity. The best part is that this story moves fast, and you truly never know what's going to happen from one chapter to the next. It does get pretty dark, but if you're looking for what is probably one of the best sci-fi series I've ever seen, then Mad is definitely a must-read. Now, if you're not really into sci-fi, but you're still sick of all the fantasy manga, then I also have a couple of crime thrillers, one of which is actually created by an animator from Jujutsu Kaisen. Phenomenon X is a manga that follows a cat-like demi-human who is sick of the mountains of paperwork.
Ooh, a cat-like demi-human who is sick of paperwork. Let's see where this goes.
That she's forced to fill out as a detective. But just before everyone else makes her quit, she comes across another detective who wants to help her solve a mysterious case of pyrokinetics. It's a decent first chapter, but this is the kind of manga that clearly has room to grow in future chapters. The series only has one chapter right now, but it's a quick read and it's a solid introduction that deals with themes of dead-end jobs and the true darkness that can be found in solving bizarre mysteries. There will be more chapters soon, and like I said, it's made by one of the Jujutsu Kaisen animators and even comes recommended by Akutami. But as nice as Phenomenon X is, I definitely think K9 has a lot more potential.
K9, never heard this one. Now this one's a new one. I always get so excited when I hear about new manga because they're just potential of new animes. Well, that's virtually for anyone. But like when I hear an interesting name, it usually is pretty like out there. Very much out there.
Follows the story of Ren, a hard-boiled woman who specializes in solving supernatural crimes in a world where sins turn into abilities. Her drive and accolades capture the attention of the
Oh yes, I remember that. Sachi's Monster's Appetite. I think that's a romance. I think that one's a romance, right? I believe so. It's a romance anime. Or manga, specifically. I think it's an ecchi, I don't remember right, but like I think so. I think it's a romance.
Unit K9, a new unit dedicated to fighting sin abilities using their very own sin users. Ren is reluctant to join when she discovers her new partner is an ex-murderer, but quickly warms up to him as the two work together to solve super-powered cases and stop the growing threat of sins. The story definitely leans more into the action than the detective element, but it balances both while introducing some fun characters. Speaking of characters, K9 has a great main cast, but it does more hinting at backstories than actual telling of those stories. So while you do learn about these characters through their interactions, the author is clearly saving these backstories for later in the manga. There's still only about 30 chapters, but these characters are off to a good start and have a lot of room to grow. But I also love the manga that don't have a ton of action, which is why I had to include at least one good romance manga on this list. In fact, Fall in Love, You False Angels is a surprisingly good romance that started this year. Basically, it's about two characters, Otogi and Toki, who play out these goody-goody personas as their class presidents, but find out they have more in common when they both admit they're a bit edgier than they let on. Otogi is a bit in love with herself, but falls head over heels for Toki, who rocks the pretty boy look and the bad boy look. False Angels is from the same...
Does this look like a bad boy to you? He looks like a persnickety version of like James. A Chuck Norris... Wait, then that does exist. I don't even say it's an anime. I think there's a manga on that. I think there's a legitimate manga of that.
Publisher as Sign of Affection, and while it didn't capture me quite as fast as that series, I was pleasantly surprised after the first volume. The story picks up fast as it fleshes out the characters through day-to-day interactions, and quickly ramps things up with a surprise confession early on. There's only a few volumes out so far, but if you're looking for a brand new romance that's really good, then you need to start False Angels now. But if you're looking for a rom-com that's a bit more laid back, then I highly recommend Someone Hurts. It's a story about two characters who find out they both contribute to the same comedy show that reads user comments at midnight. And then promise to push each other to become great comedians and develop this fun chemistry as they spend more time together. As a Shonen Jump series, the comedy can be pretty dry, but as someone who has read a fair share of gag series, I would definitely say the comedy in the series is a lot more welcoming to casual fans. This manga is pretty funny, but it's also a laid-back rom-com with a lot of potential, so you should definitely check it out before the new year. But now that I've brought up Shonen Jump, we gotta talk about everyone's favorite kind of manga, the battle series. And I'm actually gonna start with the series outside of Shonen Jump. Kindled Spirits is a new Kodansha manga that blends a little bit of—
look at that art. Very soft, but yet sharp.
Of everything. It's a battle series with comedy, romance, Japanese folklore, British imperialism.
Whoa, back up. Hold on.
This is a new Kodansha manga that blends a little bit of everything. It's a battle series with comedy, romance.
Ain't that like a legitimate two-headed chick?
What the hell?
She has 2 heads. 2 heads with I don't know. Would you guys date a two-headed chick? Like honestly, be honest, guys. Would you date a two-headed chick? That's a good question. Are they the same? I doubt it. Nah, I think that's two-headed. Would you date that? I don't know. I don't think I would. I don't think I would. Hell no. Okay. Oh God.
Japanese folklore, British imperialism, and sci-fi. The characters are interesting enough and it has a promising premise, but the story is definitely weird and isn't for everyone. That being said, the characters are finally being fleshed out and the story clearly has potential. So if you love Battle Shonen and you're looking for a series that's different from everything else, then definitely give Kindled Spirits a chance. But Kodansha's best new battle series is undoubtedly Galaxius. This manga is basically the perfect
Galactic, let's go! I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this. Galactic. Yeah, let's go, bro. Let's hear what he has to say.
One Piece. It follows Narade and Geo as they jump from kingdom to kingdom, exploring the absurd world of dragon knights and trying to solve the mystery of the lost hero, Yuri Hulst. The characters have insanely cool powers, and they're incredibly well written. The story is driven by a thrilling mystery. The art is impossibly good, but more than anything, this manga has a sense of adventure that reminds you of all of the best 2000s manga. And that's why even though it only has 30 chapters, Galaxius is already one of the best ongoing manga. But it still has plenty of competition from the legendary Hiromu Arakawa and her newest manga, Demons of the Shadow Realm. This is a manga for anyone who loves Full Metal Alchemist, but is also interested in a story that's closer to Shaman King or Zatch Bell. The main characters, Yuru and Asa, control spirits known as demons or yomi, that each have their own crazy abilities based in Japanese folklore. On top of Arakawa's beautiful art style and amazing character writing, you get a battle series driven by tag team fights between all kinds of unique monsters and their masters, as well as a plot that is full of great twists and surprises. In fact, the first chapter is one of the most shocking first chapters I've ever read, and is the perfect start for this story. Basically, if you're looking for an awesome battle series with a gorgeous art style that hasn't been talked about to death yet, Demons of the Shadow Realm is a must-read. So if you want to catch up—
the anime just trailer came out. I don't know when it's coming out. I don't know. I don't remember the date. If they made a date, but it's definitely coming out. If you're a Full Metal Alchemist fan, you're gonna love this. Well, at least the art style. I don't know about the story specifically, but I heard good things about it. I think it's from the same people who made from Full Metal.
Before the anime starts this spring, now is the best time to read this series. But to end the list, we still need to talk about Shonen Jump's best new weekly series, one of which is Kagurabachi. You may have heard of it from the memes, but it is anything but a joke. Kagurabachi is an incredible story full of cool characters and badass fights between swordsmen and sorcerers. Basically, take all of the best parts of Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen and add a cinematic art style unlike any other series, and that's Kagurabachi. The main character, Chihiro, starts out kind of edgy, but quickly turns into a wholesome character that just wants to find the good in people and protect his father's legacy against ruthless assassins and corrupt bureaucrats. So far, the series is regularly praised by fans for its insanely gorgeous panels, as well as character expression that feels less like a manga and more like an animated story. Plus, everyone really likes the villains, especially this guy, who will definitely blow up during the anime. It is kind of surprising that the anime still hasn't been announced, but considering the growing fan base and the fact that the current chapters are at their best, you can expect Kagurabachi to get an anime announcement sometime next year.
There's a chicken animation. Wait, is that that hero-looking chicken?
Manga that might get an anime announcement even sooner is Ichi the Witch. This series has a ton of—
I have high hopes with this one. For some odd reason, I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm waiting for the fans to get rabid. It will be hilarious. Let's go.
Surrounding it, and for good reason. Its artist drew Act Age, and the writer is also the creator of Iruma-kun. Together, this power team has created what can only be—
Is this— okay, guys, let's be honest. Is this anime actually funny? Is this anime actually funny? I heard people say it's funny, but I don't think it is. It just looks— I don't know. It doesn't feel like it would be. It's okay. And watch it. Okay, because when I look at it, it kind of looks like early 2000. Well, like something between 2010 or 20 or 09 type anime like art style. It looks like that. It just feels that way. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I can think of an anime right now, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, it just kind of feels that way.
Described as the best fantasy manga in Shonen Jump. The main character, Ichi, is a refreshing take on the shonen protagonist. His mentor is the world's strongest witch with a sad backstory. And the story also centers around a villain with one of the coldest introductions I've ever seen. The art style is gorgeous and balances amazing paneling, cool character designs, and hilarious character expressions. The fights are awesome, the emotional scenes are heavy, and the story is simply addicting. It's a fun series that anyone of any preference can enjoy, which is why it's not only my favorite new manga, it's one of Shonen Jump's most promising stories. And that's why, in addition to all of these manga, Ichi the Witch is something you have to check out before the year ends. But on that note, now you have the 15 best new manga, all from different magazines and genres. Make sure to read each of these manga for yourself before the year ends. That way, in 2026, you can start the new year with a great list of exciting new manga.
All right, so that was gotta grab the thing over here. I'm sorry, I was not paying attention. That was Shonen Ichi. Shonen Luigi. Sorry, Ichi. I said Ichi. So that was it. That was interesting. Some of them we already knew about. I think two of them were something we never heard of. Like the K9 one. That seems interesting. So with that said, like, share, comment. I hope you guys enjoy this and great stuff. I'll see you guys next one. And thank you. Give them a follow. It will be in the descriptions in the reaction channel. If you're watching on the reaction channel. If you don't know, you can see in the descriptions. You can follow there on the reaction channel there. All right. With that said, later.